So Real Madrid go through to the semi-final because Chelsea can't score. So it ended up 2-0 to Real Madrid. Easy pickings for Ancelotti as he returns to bloody Stamford Bridge. Realistically, Chelsea were actually the better team in the first half. How am I saying this when bloody Lampard has been shit since coming back? Like, I think his record since starting at Everton, like when he got sacked, he's had about 11 losses, 1 draw and 1 win in his recent games. He was just awful, realistically. But what can he do when the bloody owner, Todd Bowley, is just clueless? Like, man goes and gets Enzo Fernandez for 100 million, where realistically, in midfield, they were okay. They didn't need him. And everyone identified in January when Potter took over that they needed a freaking striker. Aubameyang obviously went far and he was out of favour with Potter. He just has no clue. He went and bought Rodrygo for 70 mil. Yes, he was a prospect in Shakhtar Donetsk, a bloody Turkish league or wherever it is. But you can't be splashing 70 mil like that on him. And if you go through this team, how much they cost and whether they live up to that price, half of them don't. And we're going to do that. So, before we even talk about the game, you've got Kepa in goal, 70 mil. Realistically, comparing to Alisson and Edison and people that cost a lot, he's nowhere near them. But he has improved recently and he's better than Edouard Mendy that spent 25 mil on or wherever, who's now on the bench. Koulibaly, not worth it. Bloody Thiago Silva, they got him on a free. He's their best centre-back. He's worth it. Bloody Cucurella, 50 mil, not worth it. Reece James, good. Academy prospect, though. He was from the academy. So, half the players they have bought, they're not performing. Sterling, Mudryk, Havertz, fucking Aubameyang, they're all the same. Every one of them. Enzo Fernandez at the moment, he's not worth 100 mil. Obviously, he can grow into it, and he does look like a good player. But he's just got no clue. It's just like, here's the money. Okay, we'll go after this guy, this guy, this guy. Who's the most popular on the market right now? Okay, we'll go for him, we'll go for him, we'll go for him, because we need all the best players. João Felix, obviously, is actually a good player, and getting him on loan is good, but obviously I've got to pay the wage. You didn't even freaking play him. Frank, what are you doing? And he's not going to become, obviously, the manager, because the big hope in his head would probably be go win the Champions League or something, and then maybe they consider him for the job, but 4 losses in a row. They cannot score for shit. Havertz is a donkey. I don't understand why he gets played up top anymore. They have Aubameyang. They could play Sterling, but the fact is, no one is an outright striker. They sold, or they gave their striker to Inter Milan, Lukaku, and realistically right now, although he said all that shit to the club, if he was willing to play for the shirt, he would be bagging a few goals, a few more than all the others, because Kante had chances, Cucurella had chances. If that's a goal scorer, it's going in, and obviously that is what cost them, because the first half played very well. Didn't get the goal. Second, they could have been like 2-0 up though in half time, and that would have changed the whole game. But Real Madrid kept going. I think they had a chance 50th minute, then straight afterwards, Real Madrid went on a little run. Rodrygo scores the goal. Brilliant goal, to be fair. I think it was explained by Klopp in a recent interview. If you defend Vinicius well, if you defend Benzema well, you've still got Rodrygo. If you defend him well, you've got the midfield of Kroos, Modric, Camavinga. It's ridiculous, and their team is unbelievable. Although they're lacking in La Liga at the moment, Rodrygo did well, and he did it against Man City, didn't he, where he scored 2, I believe, and he did it again where he scored the 1 goal, 60th minute, and that basically ended the tie because it made it 3-0 in aggregate. Chelsea were not going to come back there, and they did try to control the game a bit more, but Real Madrid were just too good, and in the end, it was a late cross in by Valverde to Rodrygo. Brilliant run by Vinicius. Chelsea defence were nowhere. They just got bamboozled by him, and it made it 2-0. Vinicius was taking the piss. He just stopped the ball on his foot and then whacked it in. Kepa was just all over the place. And the Chelsea boys, Chelsea, you're not be singing that song anymore because you are 11th. If you are any less points, let's say you're 6 points less, you'd be fighting relegation, mate. It's a joke. Like, I know Liverpool have been bad this season, but at least they're doing a bit better than you. It's just ridiculous what that owner has done, because Abramovich, when he sacked his managers, he got another good manager, and it was that cycle one. It's sort of a 2-year, 3-year cycle. They shouldn't have sacked Tuchel, just like they shouldn't have sacked the managers before them, like when they sacked Ancelotti, when they sacked bloody Benitez, stuff like this. But it's Chelsea way, and Todd Bowley's tried to follow that path of, okay, Tuchel didn't sign with he got a bit of a rough patch. Sacked him, got him Potter, another project player, and before Lampard didn't work, so I don't know why they got another project player, but Potter tried to step up. He did okay at the start. Obviously, it fell apart. And then instead of going back to okay, we've got to go for a football manager, you saw what Unai Emery's done to us Villa. and the likes of other big managers, where you're getting a proven manager who's won trophies and improved teams. You get in freaking Frank Lampard for a season, and then they're thinking of Nagelsmann. And yes, Nagelsmann's good. He's took the Leipzig project quite well. He did Bayern Munich quite well. But Chelsea's a different breed because they're not a club in stability. They're a club all over the place at the moment. Financial fair play has ruined them because I don't think they can go splashing another 200 mil this summer. So they've got to look wisely, look to sell players. Obviously, Mason Mount, but believing stuff like this. But overall, it's a mess at Chelsea. If I'm thinking of a club, there's no club worse than them at the moment with money. Like, if I look at Man United, they seem to be stabilising a bit. Obviously, they're still at the owners, but this way is Liverpool. Yes, they are bad. They're sick, their defensive issues, and they actually, if they want to spend money and get Jude Bellingham and stuff like this, they'll be okay. But at least their owners have a project and have some sort of a clue of what they're doing. Todd Bowley looks clueless, an American guy who just obviously wanted to buy Chelsea Football Club. Here's a load of money. Go bring success. And I think he needs some financial advice as well as bloody buying transfer money, market advice with the other players. So whoever their sporting director is shit as well. Because if you look at the last 4 years, since they bought fucking Werner, they've been dreadful. Their last 4 years of spending, not many of them have actually turned out good. Werner was awful. Havertz realistically has been awful. Sterling not very good. I can't remember the last good signing for Chelsea. It might have been like try someone, probably Thiago Silva, and he was for free. Like, it's ridiculously cash they've spent is unbelievable, and it's as bad as City they're spending at the moment. And at least City signed bloody half-decent players. I know it looks like as well, it could be a Real Madrid-Man City semi-final, because obviously Bayern, they're 3-0 ahead of Bayern. They shouldn't lose that unless they do a massive slip-up, which I don't expect from City. And I believe Real Madrid are the only team that can really stop City from winning the UCL, because AC Milan go through, probably against Inter Milan. So they're one of them teams going to be in the final. Real Madrid look good, though, in the Champions League. They always are amazing in the Champions League. Can they do a comeback against Man City? Can they just beat Man City? We'll have to see. It'll be a walloper of a semi-final. It's the end of the road for Chelsea in the Champions League. Lampard, he's got to try and do something to save this season, but his job's basically over. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.